Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video here on our channel, or if it's your first time, welcome in. My name is Alex, also known as the FIFA Analyst. Today, we're bringing you a FUT Birthday tier list. Now, I'm trying something with this video, because in the previous tier list I gave you gameplay of each individual card that we were speaking and looking about, but some people wanted me to do it the way that other YouTubers do it, with just a tier list and just talk about the cards with no gameplay. To me, gameplay makes more sense, or at least you can see the card in action, but we're going to go do it the tier list way today. So if you prefer this way, drop it down below in the comments, or if you prefer to see actual gameplay of the cards as well, then pop that down below and let me know which one you prefer. But as I said, we're talking about FUT Birthday Team 2 tier list. Let's go ahead and break down and tell you what I think of the cards. So then, to start things off, this is the tier list that we have got. We've got the S tier, A tier, B+, and B. Basically breaking it down as S being absolutely, we want to get them into your team if possible. They are a meta player, and I think highly of them. A being still a very solid card, but not one that you may need to change around too many players for. Kind of a very good, solid card, but will kind of be dependent on how your team looks. B plus being what I would class as usable. Kind of one of them. If you've got them on trade when you want to use them for a few weeks, you can do. And then B just being, these are pretty stinky really. I'd advise you to try and stay clear if you possibly can. Now, what we are going to do is when I go over the cards, I'm going to talk to you about this way so we can take a look at them, recommend the chemistry style that I would suggest, and where I would play them as well. Ansaldi is the first one. I understand this is via swaps, but it's still very much worth me talking about. This is the left wing back over in Serie A. 5-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot. It's 5'11", medium-high defensive work rates. I think this card, to be honest with you, is better off played at centre-back. You can go either with a shadow on this, or you can go an anchor. Sorry, just reset this because it's glitched. A shadow or an anchor. Depends on what you want from him. I think you can play him at centre-back. I think you can play him at full-back. You could play him in at centre defensive mid as well if you wanted to. There's multiple ways that you can get this card into your team and have a lot of success with. Overall, a very, very solid one. I used him back on, when was it? What generations did he have? He had that FUT Freeze card last year that was very good. I used to use him off the bench myself. So if you're thinking, I want to use some of my swap tokens, I've got them available. Should I pick Ansaldi up? You possibly could. Where will I put him? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put him in the A tier, only because I think he is very solid. I wouldn't go and force my way into the team to get him in. You know, that wouldn't be what I'd do. But as a super sub, or as a centre-back, or a wing-back, or as a 3-5-2 or something, especially a lot of people playing the 3-4-1-2 at the minute, he's a very, very solid card. I think the only reason why I wouldn't put him in the S tier is not necessarily because of anything on his card, but because he's available via tokens, and I understand people are going for different tokens on that. Dani Alves up next. Now, this is a card which I think a lot of people were excited by. If you want to see a full player review on him as well, I have done that on the YouTube channel, so check that out. 760,000 coins on PlayStation, 700,000 on Xbox right now. 5-star, 5-star. The problem with this card is he's really, really weak. He only has 75 strength. I don't think he's a fullback. Maybe in a 5 at the back or a 3 at the back and playing him right mid. He has high medium work rates, which means his defensive ability at times is a little bit lackluster. It just feels bland on the ball. It's hard to explain. As a fullback and kind of who he is, it really isn't something that I'm that excited by. And for that price tag, I would expect him to be much, much better. Now, can he play centre defensive mid? Yeah, he could. Would get bullied a little bit with the 5'9" and with obviously that strength. But the shooting is very, very lackluster in the finishing department. But he does have 95 shot power and 87 long shots with 92 curve. The finesse shots are probably half decent with this card. For me, I'm going to put him in the B+ tier. One that you could use, but I just don't think you should. If you pack him and you can trade him, get him out, get the coins, take it. Fullback, you should not be spending 750,000 on your fullback. If you want to play him at DM, maybe I'd allow it a little bit more, but it's just how you do that and how you get him in makes it really, really difficult. Now, the Vrij is up next. This is another card as well, where we have done a full player review on. And I think when you look at this in comparison to, you know, the SBC we had in Sergio Ramos, the Vrij is equally, maybe if not better than Ramos in some areas. He's got a little bit more pace. His defensive stats are also very good as well. I think a shadow chemistry style is what you need. The aggression at 83, a little bit low at times, but he has really good reactions at 91 and great composure at 91 as well. If you're running a Serie A team, and you are thinking about replacing Cordoba, maybe you want to change out your Koulibaly or your Skriniar, De Vrij is an unbelievable option that can last you up until Team of the Season comfortably. This is a Team of the Season card. I said this in the player review, that when we look at Steven De Vrij's Team of the Season on FIFA 21, it is almost identical, really. And for 230,000 coins, it's a bargain, really, if you're in Syria again. Especially if you've got Timber, maybe got Van der Sar in goal. You can get him in that way. There are a few ways to link him in. He isn't too difficult. Medium-high defensive work rates and an absolute beast at the back. Purely just for value for money, I'm going to put this card in the S tier. I think he's a great centre-back, and for the price that he is, I think he's incredible. If you want to partner him with Ansaldi at the back, you've got two incredible centre-backs right there for you that are great options. Now, up next, I'm probably going to butcher this name, and I really do apologise. We have got Alexander Djiku, who plays in League One for Strasbourg. Probably said that wrong as well. And I think, to be honest, when we look at it, it just kind of is one of them cards, all right? Composure, 87. Strength at 92 and aggression 88. Very, very solid. The acceleration is the big killer here. The short passing is okay. Vision a little bit low. He is very much a lower end centre back for you guys to pick up. I think the only thing that I look at when I'm considering him is I'm just going, well, in terms of links, he's hard to get into your team. Could you not just use Kimpembe instead? Kimpembe, yes, isn't as good, let's say, physically, but in terms of just what you get, Kimpembe is easier to link. However, if you can get him into your team, or you've packed him and you need to use him for the time being, you may be okay. But a shadow is absolutely needed to take up that acceleration. At 6 foot, though, low attacking work rates, high defensive work rates, which are good. He's just one of them, really, to be honest with you. Not too much to say. The skills don't really mean too much. I'll pop him in that B tier to say, avoid using him if you can. I really don't think you need to look at him. Now, this is an interesting one, actually, Dybala. So Dybala, I've been using, and I was going to do a player review on, but I got a little bit scared about doing a player review. And the pure reason being is that it wasn't really positive. And the only reason why it wasn't positive was because of how much he costs for what he gives you. I loved Dybala's card last year. I absolutely always love him. The cards which we used last year, we had the 97 and we had that player moments 91. And the 91 I used a lot of. And he was so good. His finesse shots are deadly, and that goes without saying. The gold Dybala can finesse it. Do we have an upgrade here? We have a 5-star weak foot, the 4-star skill moves. The medium work rates can be a little bit frustrating at times in that centre attacking mid-roll, if that's where you're going to play him. You could play him up front with a hunter as well if you wanted to. But for me, I ran a hawk on him. And I'm just going to be honest, I just don't think he's worth those coins. Like, straight up. I think he's a great card if you've got money to burn. But the reason why I don't think he's worth that coins is we had that Henrik Mkhitaryan SBC come out. And I looked at it and went, well, Mkhitaryan's 5-star, 5-star. Dybala's 4-star, 5-star. Yes, the nation is the big factor here. But other than that, it's just a very similar card. You know, you put a hawk on this one, let's say. And then we put a hawk on that one as well. 95 pace, 96. 95 shooting, 98. 88, 93 passing. A bit of a big difference there. And the dribbling very similar across the board. A little bit more physical stats on Mkhitaryan. To warrant an extra 1.2 million, I could not do it. I really, really couldn't do it. So I'm going to put him in the... I'm going to put him in the B+ tier. And the only reason why I'm saying that is value for money. I don't think he is worth those coins right now. If he comes down half in value, absolutely. I'd pay 600, 700k for the card and feel happy, but not 1.2, 1.3 million. I know that's a controversial opinion, by the way. Fekir. Now, Fekir, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to just put that straight up there, first of all. Fekir is always incredible. We had that Europa League card that he had, and I used so much of it, that SBC, and I love Fekir. 5-star skill moves. The reason why he goes in that is because I think value for money here is so much better. You've got great skill moves. You got that unique body type on Fekir, which is like, he almost charges his way through and brute forces his way through at times, which works really, really well. The stocky body type, sorry. High attacking work rates, medium defensive work rates. He gets into those attacking positions. He can play up front. He can play on the wing. He can play cam. He can play right mid. He can play, almost anywhere. He can play centre mid in a 3-man midfield. He is solid. Great aggression, great strength, good stamina. Sprint speed on a little bit on the low side. So again, it depends on where you play him. I think for most people, the Hunter is probably going to be the go-to. Hawk can also work as well if you want to take the long shot to the absolute max. But the Hunter is going to be the go-to for most people purely. I can never remember where a Hunter is. Purely just to get the most out of that pace for him as well. A great card if you're running La Liga, or you got some French team and whatnot, he is an absolute must to get into your team if you can. Up next is Firmino. Firmino, I always love when we get a Firmino card because he is a box-to-box CM of dreams. Why? He can shoot, he can pass, he can hold his own defensively. He's got good physical stats. He's got brilliant dribbling. 5-star, 5-star. High work rates. Exactly what you want from a box-to-box CM with the flair player trait as well as a little bit of a bonus. For me, if you're after a box-to-box CM and you're in the Premier League, box-to-box CMs this year, I think you got Pedri, you got Bellingham, you got Renato Sanchez, Lucas Paquetá, now Firmino coming into it as well. And I think Firmino is a great alternative for a lot of people. I know some people will go Hunter, Shadow. I think it depends what you want from him. If you want him to be a little bit better defensively, then absolutely yes, the Shadow will help. If you're not bothered about the defensive side of things, a Hunter or a Hawk could go good. And the only reason why we say the Hunter is to get the max pace. On here, we obviously take up the shooting, but sometimes the Hawk can go. If you're a big long shot taker like I am, you can take the long shots up to 96 there. Unbelievable on the ball, good dribbling, good passing, short passing, 96 vision, 92 curve as well. For me, again, another one of them ones that I say, if you can get him into your team, please do. Lucas Paquetá up next. Again, I've said the name wrong. Someone did tell me how to say it the other day in the YouTube comments of this player review, because we have reviewed him on the YouTube channel, and I got it wrong. I apologise. Now, I'm not going to compare this if he's worth upgrading over your 88 version, all right? That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to just analyse and talk to you about this card individually. It is phenomenal. And as a box-to-box CM, I think he's better than Renato Sanchez. The only Renato Sanchez I think maybe we could really compare him to, and then we look at price difference, is the Champions League version. And the Champions League version is still quite a lot of money. So 200k more extra. On Lucas Paquetá, I feel like you get more of a better long shot taker and a little bit better on the ball. He's not as stocky, but Renato Sanchez bullies people. He gets up and down that pitch really well. We do have the high work rates, 5-star, 5-star, which is unbelievable. Again, for me, depending on what you want in chemistry style, I think most people will probably go with a Shadow just to give him that defensive boost as well. If you want that box-to-box CM and you want him to be able to shoot, Hunter or Hawk is your go-to. I think if I remember correctly, I went with Hawk, actually. You can kind of see that I use Hawk quite a lot because of that long shot bonus that I do get. But an absolute great card at that. Ndidi. We have done a player review on Ndidi as well. If you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. Ndidi, if you are after a centre defensive mid in the Premier League, you will not find a better man. You will not find a better man for value for money. This is an absolute steal. He covers the ground well. He's 6 foot. Yes, pace a little bit on the lower side. Chuck a Shadow on him and you'll get more out of him. Medium high defensive work rates. If you worry about getting hit on the counter, if you worry about the opponent breaking away and you want your centre defensive mid there to do things naturally for you automatically, please consider Ndidi. The only issue is with this card is the links. He is hard to link into your team. I completely understand that. But if you run a full Premier League squad, no problems. Strength maybe a little bit lower, 82, and lean body type. But I think, again, when you're paying 34,000 coins, you get what you get. And you don't get upset, as Nepo would say. Kante is someone said, why would you get Ndidi when you can get gold Kante? These two cards are not even comparable anymore because that Kante is so far behind the power curve. We have better pace. Yes, he doesn't cover the ground as quick because of the height difference. Kante obviously being lower, better agility, lower center of gravity. Shooting, not really too fussed about, but the passing is better on Ndidi. The dribbling is better on Ndidi. The defensive, better. Physical's better. He's a better card. If you have still got gold Kante, replace him with Ndidi, and he is going into my S tier because I think value for money, this is one of the best cards out there right now. Neuer. I'm going to be honest. I don't really have too much to say with Manuel Neuer. He's a goalkeeper. I used his gold card this weekend, actually, and had a lot of success with it. He's got 5-star skill with his 4-star weak foot. If you've got extra coins lying around, get him into your team. I'm just going to put him in the A tier because he is what he is. I'm not gonna dwell on that one. All right. Rabiot up next. Rabiot is an interesting one. I think face value, the card looks good. The biggest letdown, in my opinion, is the composure. We only have 82 composure, 83 agility, and 80 balance. For a 6'1" player, you want to use him to his kind of brute force hold-up play. The problem that you have is that he only has 72 jumping. At 6'1" with 83 heading accuracy, it's almost like he doesn't fill that big man role very well, but you can use the strength to kind of back into the opponent, use the shield, and have a bit of success there. If you're running a Serie A team, there's ways to get him in. You know, he's not hard to get into a team. I just don't think he is an out-and-out must. I know a lot of people go for an engine on him to get the most out of him. But I just think he's kind of one of them, really. He's not all that. There are obviously, some good Serie A players out there, especially if you've still got the Brahim Diaz in your team. You can link him into there and have a bit of success with. Obviously, gets that link into Hernandez to get him into your team that way. An okay card. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put him in this tier, same as Dybala. Funnily enough, remember, Dybala is purely down to money, and that's the reason why he's going to go into there for me. Declan Rice. Declan Rice, at the time he came out, I really liked. I thought he was a good card. 350k now. I actually think this card could suit possibly centre-back better than CDM. And do you know the only reason why I think now this is incredibly overpriced in comparison was because of the Ndidi. Ndidi, yes, not the same nation, so a little bit harder to link. But when you look at value for money, Ndidi is so much better. Doesn't offer as much from the long shots, of course. But look at that. 4 less on the pace. Shooting, passing 4 less. Shooting, I'm not bothered about. Dribbling, almost the same. Defensive stats the same. Physical's almost the same. Rice will feel better in that physical battle in the middle of the park, though. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Go within a shadow chemistry style to get the max acceleration out of him as well. He is good on the ball. Feels a little bit heavy sometimes. But as a whole, the 5-star skill moves allow you to turn. He is very physical. He does get across the pitch and tackle strong. His positioning is great. I just think it's a little bit expensive now that Ndidi is an option. But if you've got him in your team and you want to use him, I have no problems with that. I do think he is an okay DM. I'm just going to put him in that B+ tier. Now, if Ndidi never came out, I would have put him in the A tier because I do like the card. I just think value for money, certainly not there as much. Jadon Sancho up next. This is a player review again that we've done. We've put that on the YouTube channel for you. Go and have a watch of that. I really like this card. He performed better than I expected him to. You can go with a Hawk. You can go with a Hunter. I think we went with a Hawk, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we did. We went with a Hawk. Again, to get the long shots increase. It feels great on the ball. Very similar to Neymar. 5-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot. Don't underestimate the finesse shot trait as well on there. And the flair trait. High attacking work rates, medium defensive work rates. I love this card. The only thing I don't like about it is the price tag. He is expensive. Linking him into your team is very easy to do. You can link him in with Kyle Walker over on that right-hand side at the fullback position. You've obviously got plenty of players from the Premier League, Grealish, Declan Rice, and so on. But this is kind of the biggest thing for me that I looked at and went, this is why I can't really warrant it. You're basically paying an extra 800k for a 5-star skill moves. You've got a 5-star there in Jack Grealish. The pace, near the same. Shooting and passing, very similar. Same sort of dribbling, a little bit more physicals. I couldn't warrant the extra money on that. I really, really liked Jack Grealish. I would really liked Jadon Sancho. If he was about 500k, I'd put him in my S tier. But because of the price that he's at, I'm not going to say he's not worth the Dybala's one. I do think he is worth the coins if you've got excess coins to burn. The only reason why, though, is because of the 5-star skill moves. Dybala, if he was 5-star, he would have kept in this A tier for sure. Next up is Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos came out recently, actually. And this is an SBC that a lot of people were overpriced. I don't think he is overpriced. I think for a centre-back of his stature and how he performs in game. And that's a big thing that you've got to understand. He has got traits for days. He performs well. The team player and the leadership don't really do anything, but I almost feel like it makes them feel better in a challenge. Just as a whole, they perform better, in my opinion. Hypothesis there, though. The power header is a bonus, but other than that, he is a great centre-back. He is a bit heavy on the turn when he has the ball at his feet, without any questions. The high attacking work rates, medium defensive work rates, people are concerned with. I understand that. If you like to defend aggressively, though, he is great. And for 551k, to link into maybe Team of the Year Marquinhos and Donnarumma, the links play a big part in this. He is actually a centre-back, which I think is top tier. Only reason why I'm not going to put him any higher than A is purely because of he doesn't feel lightning quick in game. If he was 88, 89 pace, yeah, I would put him there for sure. Now, up next, we are going to take a look at Silas, which is obviously Dani Alves' kind of favourite one. And I'm going to be honest, I never like his cards in game. I think he feels clunky. I think he feels heavy. Doesn't perform the way that I want him to. Value for money, you could argue he's a little bit there, but he is difficult to link into your teams as well. In terms of chemistry style, engine is what people are going to go for because of that clunkiness. 5-star, though, can't be underestimated. I'm going to chuck him in this tier here. I think he is usable, but for me, he just doesn't tick my boxes. But he's okay if you just want to use him for a few weeks, you're more than welcome to. Sanchez up next, which is a very interesting one because he is literally A solid centre-back. He's a brick wall, really. And he's fairly cheap. Again, when you look at it, 6'2", medium height, unique body type. Great sprint speed, similar to Rudiger, actually, here. If you were to compare these two, obviously not as good as Rudiger, but there is a price difference here of 400k. Same pace, a little bit off the defensive, a little bit off the physical. Not as good passing, but kind of similar on the ball. Very much a cheaper alternative to Rudiger right now. If you want to partner these two together, you're more than welcome to. The weak foot being an issue on Silas and Sanchez, a shadow chemistry style will really help you get the best out of him. Value for money is great. If you want to use him until you can afford Rudiger, you're more than welcome to. I'm actually going to put him in this A tier because I do think his value for money is great. The weaker side to me is the links. All right. Avila up next. Again, this is another one which is available via swaps. I understand not many people are going to be using him because of that. When we look at it, La Liga, Argentinian, links are good. 5-star, 5-star. High, which would frustrate me a little bit. 5'8", average body type. He's got great aggression, great strength to make up for that 5'8". His pace is good. His shooting is phenomenal. Composure is good as well. Short passing for a striker is at 90 with 89 vision, 89 curve. Man, he can pass the ball. He can also head. Jumping is only at 78 though, so do be mindful of that. Traits doesn't have any really of interest, but if you're after a super sub, and again, you want to use this as a player to come on off the bench for you, even if he doesn't start from swaps, that is a great card to put him in. For me, for value for money, I'd put him in there. I understand the swaps, takes time and costs money on some things, but I actually think he is a top tier striker to go into that league. I don't know why I've got him down as Brazilian on here. You will have to ignore that. But Argentinian is what he is. And then last two coming up now, we have got Yuri Berchiche, who always gets a card. I'll be quick and round up and sweet with this. 5-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot. He's just a solid fullback. Probably better off playing centre-back if I'm honest with you. But be careful of the high medium. If you want the Ramos links, you could find a way to get him in via that. Average body type, very good agility. His passing is a little bit poor with 80 vision and only 80 long passing. Sometimes those passes aren't going to be too accurate for him. But value for money, 28,000 coins. I think he's okay. I'd probably just put him in the B+ tier. I don't think he's not usable, but I don't think he's one that you really need to worry about too much. And then last up, we have got Conrad Laimer, who value for money, again, absolutely exceptional. 5-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot. A medium-high defensive work rates over in Serie A. If you just, not Serie A, Bundesliga. If you want a DM at the minute to fill a role for you and do a job, I actually feel like this card can certainly do that. He's dirt cheap, and I'd put him in there. Actually, no. I'm going to go B+. The only reason I want to go B+ is Nation to make him even more harder to link. But if you're in full Bundesliga, I'd put him in A. But I think he's certainly usable, certainly a good card. It is just the links being the big issue there as a holding DM for you. And that is my tier list. Let me know which way you preferred. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if I've missed anyone. Thank you all very much for watching. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. And catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.